Once in the forest you'll find a fabulous banquet, a fairy ball. If you close your eyes and you open your mind, the veil disappears and you'll see it all.
Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese, and today's video is kind of just a video where I'm coming on here and talking with you guys about what I've been going through this week, what I've experienced, and why I've been a little bit missing here on YouTube because I was in and out of the hospital. If you guys follow me on social media, you guys know that I suffered a severe burn to my hand, thumb area a couple of days ago. I believe it was early Tuesday morning or one of those days. It's all kind of just blended together at this point. But so many of you guys have been asking me what exactly happened and what's been going on and if I'm okay and the story behind it all. And I figured that since I mentioned to you guys that I wanted to upload every single day this week and I ended up going missing for 4 days in a row due to this injury, that I would come on here, get back into it by telling you guys where I've been, and then we can resume regular content and hopefully you'll understand why I have this big gauze pad on my thumb. Speaking of burns, a lot of you have been commenting on my videos asking what's up with my red chest. I went away, I got a little bit of a sunburn, and it shows a lot with my ring light. It's really not that bad in person, I promise you guys. It's totally okay in person, but it does show up a lot in my videos, so if you're wondering what that is nothing to be alarmed about. That was a natural sunburn that actually hurts not at all. That was really bad grammar, but it absolutely doesn't hurt. So on Tuesday morning, I woke up really early and my stomach was hurting because I hadn't really ate enough the day before. When I have anxiety or stress or things like that going on in my life, I tend to not necessarily eat as much. I definitely eat enough, like for my calorie intake and to stay healthy and all of that, but I just don't eat as frequently as I would or as my body would want me to when I'm not stressed out. And so I woke up really early in the morning with that feeling in my stomach. I don't know if any of you guys have experienced it, but it's essentially where your body is so hungry that like you start to feel nauseous and it really hurts unless you go to eat. So I went to the fridge and I was looking at the things that I could make, and I decided to make something that required oil in the pan. And so I put some oil in the pan and I was cooking as per usual, but because it was so early in the morning and I'm not a morning person, I do not function well at all in the mornings, I forgot to turn the fan above the stove on and I set off the fire alarm. Now I have like anxiety of getting myself into trouble or like waking other people up or just causing like disruptance in my building. So I started to really panic and I went over to like the fire alarm and I started to like fan it with a blanket, and luckily it turned off. But my pan was like smoking at this point because I'd left this oil unattended to deal with the fire alarm. So my initial idea was to quickly move the pan away from like being so close to the fire alarm. And in doing so, I tipped the pan, obviously, because there was a lot of oil in it and I grabbed it so quickly. I tipped the pan backwards and the burning hot, smoking hot, boiling hot oil tipped directly onto my thumb, like right onto it, and then it splashed down onto my thigh. So I have like a line of a burn on my thigh, but it's nothing like compared to my thumb. So right away, I knew that this was like really bad. Like I've burned myself a million times. Those classic curls that you guys see me rock all the time, I use a wand curler for those. And anybody who uses wand curlers knows that you burn yourself. So like I'm used to burns. This was unlike anything I had ever felt or experienced in my whole entire life as far as burns are concerned. And when I looked down, it wasn't like it was red, or like normally when you get a burn, or at least for me and in my experience with my relatively minor burns that I've had throughout my lifetime, you feel the burn and you're like, ouch, and the skin gets a little red, and then it doesn't like blister or welt or really show for like another like 10 minutes or so or something like that. I looked down at my thumb and the whole thing had turned white. Like it was as though all of my skin was peeling. It rippled right away. It was blistering. It was white. And it was like the worst pain that I've ever felt. So My silly self, because I had gotten my thigh and I had gotten my thumb, I ran a freezing cold bath. And I jumped into the freezing cold bath and I was figuring out like my next move because I was alone in my condo. So I called my mom and I woke her up and I was like freaking out. And I was like, listen, I've had burns before. I was like, this burn is like, it's horrible. Like my skin is peeling off like right away. Layers of my skin were just like coming off. And my mom was like, well, calm down, like cool it, evaluate it, and let me know if you want to go to the hospital, because if you're gonna go, I'll meet you there. And I was like, okay. So I started Googling, which by the way, guys, never do that, especially if you're somebody like me. My doctor tells me all the time not to do it, but I always do it, and it's always worst case scenario, and it's always things that are crazy, and with my anxiety, it just gets my mind like rolling. But I read on Google that if your skin turns white right away, that means 3rd-degree burns, and you need to seek medical attention immediately. So I called my mom back, and now I'm freaking out, and I'm like, I think it's a 3rd-degree burn. I'm like, it's so bad, like I need to go to the hospital. So I got out of the tub, I filled up like a big glass of freezing cold water with ice in it, and I called a cab because I didn't feel I could safely or comfortably drive with the way that my hand was. And when my finger wasn't in like freezing cold water, it was like, the pain was unbearable. So I get into this person's cab with my thumb in a big cup of water, and I'm like, I need to go to the hospital. I get to the hospital, my mom's there. Right away they're like, yeah, that's a pretty bad burn, like we need you to see the doctor. Are you comfortable in your glass of water? And I was like, I'm okay. So I was waiting to go in to see the doctor, and my glass of water ended up going like room temperature, because obviously my body's within it and my finger is burning up. So it went room temperature and the pain became unbearable. Like I was crying, and like normally I would like to consider myself very pain tolerant, but I was like in tears. I was also overtired. I didn't even get to eat my food. So I was like hangry and in pain and exhausted. And that is just like not a combination of Hailey that anybody wants to be around. So the doctor calls me in and he's like, I need you to like show me your thumb. And he looks at my thumb and he's like, you really did a number on it. And the first thing, sorry, that I said to him was, is it 3rd degree? And he looks at it and he goes, it's a very deep 2nd degree. So it's right before 3rd degree. He's like, but it's not 3rd degree. And then he made a joke to me because I was like, well, I Googled and it said that if your skin turns white right away, that means that it's like 3rd degree. And he was like, you're a very pale girl. He's like, so your definition of skin turning white and my definition is very, very different. And then he informed me, which is really interesting and good to know for any of you guys, is that if a burn hurts, it's normally a really, really, really good sign. Like it means that you haven't killed your nerve endings and that you don't have a 3rd-degree burn. 3rd-degree burns, your skin turns like leathery, I guess, and you don't feel anything. So he gave me a shot of morphine and a shot of gravel because my stomach does not handle morphine well. And he said that he was gonna come in and cut all of the dead skin off of my finger. So essentially, you know what it looks like when you like peel the skin off of a grape and it's like that like thing underneath? That was what he was doing to my thumb. So he came in and he did that, and it was like the most uncomfortable thing. It wasn't even necessarily that it was like so painful, but it was more so that like it was really, really uncomfortable for me. Like it was a really uncomfortable feeling. And then he tells me that I'm gonna need to make an appointment with a plastic surgeon, a burn plastic surgeon, because where I burned myself was right on the joint. And sometimes when you burn yourself on joints or you get a really deep 2nd-degree burn, or for sure if you get a 3rd-degree burn, they'll do what's called skin grafting, I believe, and it's where they will essentially take skin from either your butt, if it's like a big area, or like for small areas, the bottoms of your feet, and they will transfer healthy skin cells and healthy skin over to the area, and then they'll stitch it on, I think, and let it heal. And that made me really, really nervous just because I was really hoping that it would heal on its own, and I've never had a burn where I needed to visit a plastic surgeon. So the next day, right away, I get a phone call from the plastic surgeon's office, and they're like, we want to get you in as soon as possible because if you need, you know, skin grafting, like the skin transfer, you're gonna need to get that done sooner than later before this skin starts to die off and try to heal on its own. So I went to go see the plastic surgeon, and I went in there and they had a burn specialist nurse and a burn specialist surgeon who used to work in the burn department and have seen horrific burns. And they looked at my burn and they told me, again, you really did a number on it. What were you doing flinging hot oil around? And then they proceeded to tell me that I will not need surgery, that my thumb will heal on its own. My thumb is so disgusting, you guys. Like, it's so bad. I'm not even gonna post a picture because it is so horrific. Like, it makes me queasy when I change my bandages. It's so bad. But she said that it would heal on its own. The only thing is that because it's on a joint, if I don't bend my thumb and exercise it every single day, I will lose mobility in that joint, because when you burn so deep into your skin, when your new skin grows, it grows extremely tight. And so if you don't exercise it, you will lose the ability to actually bend that joint. And that's been really, really difficult, trying to like bend my thumb like that, just because it's raw skin and I'm literally bending and stretching raw skin, and it makes it bleed and it makes it ugh. But today I am finally feeling completely like myself again. I haven't took any pain meds. I've been feeling a lot better. My thumb's looking like it's really starting to heal, and I am back and ready to create content and to edit and upload and do all that fun stuff for you guys, because I've really, really missed you. It's just when I'm on such strong pain meds, and before, like now I just have my thumb all gauzed, but before they had like my whole hand wrapped, it was really difficult for me to use my right hand. And so I was like, I'm just gonna take a couple of days, recover, heal, and then be back for them. But I know that a lot of you who follow me on social media and knew that I was in the ER and knew that I had to see a burn plastic surgeon were really curious as to what exactly happened. And a lot of you have noticed on YouTube that I've been missing for 4 days in a row right after I said I was gonna bring back daily content. So I really didn't neglect you guys. It's not that I don't care about my channel. It's not that I don't wanna be creating every single day for you guys. It's just sometimes my luck isn't the greatest, and I wind up in positions and situations like this. Now, here's the lesson behind all of this, because there definitely is one. My anxiety led me to panicking over a fire alarm to the point of quickly moving a pan of boiling hot oil. When in reality, there is nothing wrong with you setting off a fire alarm. I need to start to learn and comprehend that it's okay to do things like that sometimes, which sounds so silly, but people with anxiety will understand. And it's just a lesson for how much my anxiety can actually hurt me physically when I react impulsively in situations that make me uncomfortable or give me anxiety. So I definitely learned a lesson in all of this. My thumb is gonna look a little bit silly for the next little while. I had a burn on my knee from dropping my curling iron, and it lasted a year. So this is gonna be here for a while. I mean, my dream of being a hand model is gone, but I mean, it's just a thumb, and it really made me put into perspective people who have burned tremendous parts of their bodies or have been through, you know, fires or things like that. It's just, it really makes me recognize how hard things that people go through can be, and how fortunate I am that when I tipped the pan of oil, it just went onto my thumb and leg, and that it didn't get, you know, my chest or my face, which it wouldn't, but you understand the point. Well, you guys, that is basically where I've been for the past 4 days. Today is day 5, and I have missed you guys way too much, so I am back and ready to do daily content for you guys. I have a video that I'm going to be posting tomorrow that I'm super, super, super excited about. It's paranormal, it's interesting. I've been promising it to you guys for a while now, and it's time. So I'm really, really excited to do that tomorrow. And I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for being so supportive and patient. And for those of you who do follow me on social media and sent me get well wishes and prayers, it means the absolute world to me. It may just be a thumb, but it was horrific pain, and I am very, very fortunate that it was just a thumb and that I don't need any sort of surgery. If you guys are new to my channel, or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my videos, I would absolutely love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button. Like I said, unless I go off and do something absolutely ridiculous again, I am going to be posting daily content, so you don't want to miss out if I do upload. And on that note, please go ahead and turn your post notifications on if you do enjoy my videos, because YouTube sometimes has a strange algorithm and they don't share my videos with you guys. So if you enjoy my content, I don't want you to miss out. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I know it's not like the most exciting or happiest video, but we're back in action and we're here and I missed you guys. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, I love you.